Hi everyone, and welcome to Legal Limelight, where we talk about all things intellectual property, legal industry leaders, and entrepreneurs that are using IP to create wealth and live the life of their dreams. Today we have a legal industry incredible attorney. His name is Pete Salisch, and he is the screen lawyer. So Pete is a seasoned intellectual property and entertainment attorney. He is also a good friend. It has been really fun to get to know him and also to hear all the cool things that he's working on in entertainment law. So let's just give Pete a second. Hi, Madison. Hi, fashion lawyer India. Hi, Abby. Hi, Nicole. What's up, guys? We're just giving it a quick minute for Pete to come on. And if we hope we don't have to reschedule, but if we need to, we can. I'm just going to check in with him. He's messaging me. What's up, guys? What do you got going on today? What's going on? It's Thursday. As I go back to my story. Join there. From the mobile app. Okay. This is why I love Instagram, no pressure. We are doing things live. Madison, how are you? Are you at school? Madison's my intern and she's amazing. She's the president of the Intellectual Property Society at Cardozo, and she's one of my favorite people and super smart. So we'll just give it a second. What do you guys practice? Comment. So if we want to, talk about anything tailored to your area, let us know. Okay, Pete, I got you now. Oh, that was so nice. Thank you for saying that. Hi, Pete.
Hey, there we go. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. And even if you want to take a second and you could literally put it against your desktops, or you can hold it. I don't care. We can keep it short. See, that's what I love with these lives. I can just put lipstick on.
Oh yeah, I should have done the same thing. I should have.
It'll match your glasses.
This will work. Yeah, that's my lipstick. Is my red glasses. I vary the color in those depending on my mood. So.
Oh, it's great. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you. Good to talk to you.
The Screen Lawyer's first Instagram Live.
It is. It actually is, because I'm sitting there looking at my laptop on my screen and everything. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? So
No, it's all good. It's perfect. Yeah, and I keep these short anyway. They're very conversational. I'm really excited because you and I had a great conversation offline that I kind of want to bring and share with everyone, because you're doing really cool stuff in the industry right now, and I think it's worth sharing that. So
yeah, I'm very happy to be here and great to talk to all of the people that follow you, Francesca. So yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, so I gave your intro earlier to everyone. I did it 3 times actually, because the first time we had someone who hijacked.
I saw that. I could see all that. I just couldn't figure out how to get in because I wasn't using my phone. So my bad.
Yeah. Instagram's the weird one of the family. You can set up a webcam and stream across almost every platform, but Instagram's the one, of course, and it's the one I use the most. It doesn't do that.
Right. Well, and I actually, in my home office, I have a whole setup to drop my phone in, but I'm back at working in my regular office again, and I haven't moved all that stuff. So no worries.
No problem. Okay, so I would love to know how you got started. How did you go from becoming a baby lawyer to an expert in intellectual property and entertainment law?
Great question. I don't know if you can see behind you. On my wall is a giant poster of a image from a comic book. That's actually a trial exhibit from a trial in 2000 where we represented Todd McFarlane and Image Comics in what turned out to be a 10-year-long series of lawsuits over the name, likeness, and image of a NHL hockey player named Tony Twist. And I was about a 4th or 5th year lawyer at that time. got to work on the case, thought, oh, this is a silly little summary judgment matter. Went on for years and years and years. We ended up representing Todd McFarlane. That's another image from another one of his comics. And I just fell in love with working with creatives. I started doing mostly litigation. Probably first 10 years of my career, it was all litigation, and then more and more intellectual property and sort of entertainment based. And it's just sort of weird how certain cases found us, and we got a reputation for being able to, in St. Louis, Missouri, for doing high profile entertainment litigation, which seems weird, but it, as you know, weird litigation happens everywhere.
Yeah.
And so in fact, my wife was an operating room nurse at the time. And of course, she could never admit that her husband was a lawyer because everybody in the health system was like, Yeah. But she would say, no, he's a comic book lawyer. And that was okay. So, but what I gradually found, and over about 10 years' time, I realized, what do all these lawsuits have in common? And every single one of them, it was the absence of a piece of paper before there was money. You think about it, a simple 2-paragraph agreement on
could solve and save hundreds of thousands.
Millions and millions and millions of dollars of legal fees if there's a really big success. And of course, we always want our clients to plan for success. So I began to think, well, as much as I enjoy the stage of litigation, I really don't want to fight with everybody over whether today's Thursday. And so more and more, I'm like, I think I'd like to hang out with these creative people. I still play guitar in, local bands. I was a freelance cartoonist, but I never sort of was able to see myself professionally raising my family or whatever it would be doing that. And so by being able to be a lawyer who works with people like that, I kind of get to be around and support creatives, but bring value at the high professional level by being the attorney who can structure the deals. So that's kind of how I got where I got.
My intern she's a performer. She was Elle Woods in Legally Blonde on Broadway. She was the character in Into the Woods, like incredible. But she lost, she had issues with her voice. She had some health issues related to it. So she went to Cardozo Law, and she's my intern. And she said that to me this morning, that it's like so amazing that she can be an attorney for creatives and helping some of these art clients. And while also like getting that, fill for being in the industry. So I totally agree with that. We had a whole conversation about today. That's
very cool. That's very cool. I send her my best, and if she ever wants to chat, let me know.
I'm going to tell her for sure. For sure. So, and I know when you and I talked that even like with the background, the direction that you were in doing transactions, that recently your career has taken an even more niche and nuanced direction. So can you tell us a little bit about some of the stuff?
Absolutely. The one other thing on my wall, if you can see, is a movie poster from a film called The Ghost Who Walks. So everybody out there, go check out The Ghost Who Walks. You can find it on Netflix, especially around Christmas time. But it's a film that was filmed entirely in St. Louis about 4 years ago. And I was one of the producers. So I did all of the production legal, but also structured all of the investment. We entirely independently funded and got into the whole process of working with production companies. I have worked with production companies for the last 12, 13 years, primarily on the TV side, where you're negotiating rights and you're pitching to a network. This was one of the first times we were raising the funds entirely independently as an investment. So it's really, an investment often in an LLC. So in a lot of ways, this deal structure is like investing in a software company. But instead of ongoing, is the company going to be successful in future rounds, it's a single purpose entity. It's got one budget. All the money is spent at one time. There's no ongoing expenses. And so there's a totally different way you think about the investment opportunity. And it was really cool to work on. Great to see the film. And then just little by little, that's grown. So now I have a regular stream of clients. I always was on the side trying to raise the money. Now I seem to be representing the money being invited in, which is a very different place to be, but it's pretty cool. And sometimes I want to reach through the, phone or the computer and say, please let me help you put your documents in order. Because my client has already decided he can picture his daughter as the bartender in that one scene. He's already decided he wants to get an IMDb executive producer credit. He wants to give you his money. But you have to give me the documents that I can, allow him to do that. And so it's an interesting model, especially, in the creative world. So often, what you and I are doing is trying to help them make sure that they've got the legal structure, the contract set up, the company set up, ownership, those things, so that they can get their creativity out into the world.
Yeah.
And so that's really where I spend almost all my time now. It's fun.
You must have been reading my mind, because that's exactly what I was thinking. That is in essence what I tell clients. We start and look at their business, and I have successful clients that don't have anything in place, or crappy contracts that now they're like, okay, this has worked for a couple of years. We want you. That's kind of like what I've been doing a lot of, is just getting the foundation. And this is not complicated stuff. When it really boils down to it, it's making sure you have the proper entity set up, having the trademark for your name. Is there any sort of asset that can be protected with a copyright, trade secret, or maybe a patent? And then that one contract that is the most important to your business, how you're going to go out and sell, whatever that is. And I know it's being really high level and generally, but I feel that, whether it's a Fortune 500 company or a solopreneur, at the end of the day, that's the foundation that applies to everyone.
You're absolutely right. And the thing that I think a lot of people sometimes, and I find this a lot with creatives, they're afraid of their contracts.
Yeah.
Right? They're incredibly confident in what they can create, and they should be. And and especially when they're trying to level up. Hey, I got a chance to get a client that one job is more than I made all last year. Right? But now that clients, maybe they have their own paper they want you to sign. Or you're just in this situation and there's this feeling, I don't know how many times this happens to you, but people say, can you make my contract shorter?
Yeah.
I don't want to have a long contract. And I'm always like, I'm sorry you've had that experience, you have that fear. My job is to make you proud of your contracts, confident in your contracts, make sure you understand what the words say. So if you get a question on the indemnification clause from your perspective customer, you need to be able to say, oh, well, up here where it said you're responsible for the material you give to me and I'm responsible for the material I create. Yeah, well, this just says what happens if something goes wrong. And if you understand, it doesn't have to be complicated, but if they understand that, then they're like, okay, I have a 4-page contract. I have a 6-page contract. Doesn't matter. Your contract should be exactly as long as it needs to be and no longer and no shorter. But it's up to us to help them understand why those things matter. And it's often it's a recurring conversation. But that to me is the biggest thing that we can do for our clients is get them, especially when they're creatives, is your contracts are part of your brand, right? If
your contracts are part of your brand. I love that.
You have a logo, you have a way you project yourself, you have a life on social, you have an image of how your work looks. So why not have really professional contracts with your logo on them and the font that you want to use or whatever else? It doesn't have to be, they don't have to look like a contract written 25 years ago, as long as it has the right stuff, And so a lot of times what I'll end up doing, and I know you do this too, is help a client sort of create, okay, your business is going to need these 3 on a regular basis or whatever it is. And so let's get them in the right form. Let's give you what you need. Let's help you feel powerful on that part of your business, which is maybe the one part that you don't feel powerful at. So that's kind of how I like to approach it.
No, it's amazing. And I hope if there are businesses and entrepreneurs watching this that are not sure of if they have a good contract, or maybe it was a template that they got online.
Right.
I've seen everything. And this is, I think if you're going to invest in your brand and you're going to want to show the other side who you are as a business person, the contract is the first thing. We don't think about it that way. It's a great point.
Yeah, I mean, and if we spend a little time with a client and get them comfortable with that, then that's one less thing they have to think about. You know, it's not running around the front of their brain as this thing that they know they should do but haven't quite done yet, right? We all carry around those little things that, you know, and so let's take one of those things away from a creative person or a creative business and let them go do what they do.
So, Pete, a lot of entertainment clients have been coming to me because they want to put together a production, or maybe they're the talent and they want to shop it around.
Yeah.
So, a lot of them have asked me about shopping agreements.
Yeah.
Which, you know, these are such interesting contracts. I love how the industry is kind of evolving to really, I mean, even like the podcasts, you don't have to just do things in traditional Hollywood now. There's so many different ways to raise money or do a production. So, in your experience with working with talent-based, like on the talent side, do you have any advice for people who maybe have a great idea for a production and want to go out and pitch it to a network or pitch it to raise funding for, you know, the people on the other side, like we said?
Yeah, no, great question. And yes, the first thing you said is really true. I've been working in this sort of in the production world now for probably 15 years. And for the first half of that or more, it was a fairly straightforward flow of money. If the network was interested, they budgeted everything. The production company would acquire some, you know, would get a shopping agreement with talent. And basically you know, if you could pitch it, great. And then they would do the contracts afterwards. Now, like you said, podcast companies, independent films, branded content that goes straight to YouTube channels. All of those are entirely new screens where things end up. But the basic right structure hasn't changed at all. So, you know, when the shopping, you know, as you know, the shopping concept is I need to get, so from the production company side, you're the talent. Yeah. I think you would make great TV or a great film or a great whatever. Or you come to me and say, I have this great idea and I've developed this concept or this treatment, but I don't know where to go. One way or another, typically the talent is going to attach themselves to a producer, executive producer, might be a full-size physical production company. Sometimes it's an interim. It's an EP who takes it to a production company because they've got a first look deal, things like that, right? But the basic structure, that agreement is incredibly simple, even the ones that have 7 pages. You're really only saying, and this is as your talent, try to hold on to this. You would be agreeing that for a period of time, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, whatever the shopping period is, all you're really saying as talent or as the owner of the concept, I simply won't shop with anybody else for this period of time. I'm going to take myself off the market, allow you, producer, executive producer, production company, whomever, to try to shop this concept with me in it. And maybe I have to, you know, maybe you film me, interview me, you create a sizzle reel. Maybe we put together a combination of treatments and some existing IP, or a project Bible, or, you know, there's various levels of pitch materials depending on what the project is. But essentially all that shopping agreement should be is an agreement to work together for a period of time. If I'm talent, yes, I agree, I'll cooperate with you. You can come film me, whatever we need to do. And I won't talk to anybody else about this for a period of time. And if you can go get a network agreement or a studio agreement in that time, then I've agreed that I'll do the next set of things. But I'm not agreeing now what you'll pay me. I'm not agreeing now to do anything beyond stay off the market. So if you're talent, you can be expected that they're going to need you to do that. You can be expected that they need you to give them the ability to use your name, image, likeness, but solely for the purpose of pitching the project. You can expect that they're going to need you to do some other, but really that's about it. And so if you get a shopping agreement that's asking you for more, or asking you for 24 months or things like that, just step back and think about the only thing you're really doing is staying off the market for a period of time. Now, you may say, but I want to give more to them so they'll do more for me. If they're pros, if they're the kind of people that can actually get somebody's attention at a network and get your project funded, they're not going to ask you for more than they know the deal. But they also have a limited bandwidth. They've got so many things that you get a network executive's ear, you get an agent's ear. You got to choose which 3 projects you're going to spend your time with on that for that day, right? Because you can't waste that relationship if you're the shopper. So, there is a bit of a leap of faith that you have to make in one of these attachment situations. But I think if someone comes to you as talent and says, hey, I'd like to make a show about you, that's awesome. But maybe allow yourself in your mind to shop a little bit yourself. What do I know about this other party? What have they done before? What's their track record? Let me see their reel. What are the terms? So, that's sort of my advice is you don't have to sign much more than simply agreeing to stay off the market and keep confidentiality, right? They probably, depending on the thing, they may say, you can't talk about social media, right? And in other circumstances, they may say, blow everything up on social media as large and big as you can because that helps us sell it. That depends on the project or what the proposal is. But, basically it's a pretty simple relationship and shouldn't be much more than that. And if you're getting asked for a bunch more, take a breath and say, let me check with my lawyer.
Amazing. That is so helpful because a lot of talent has been reaching out, and that's the concern, is that they really don't even know where to begin. But along every step of the way, like you said, this is not like a full-blown production agreement. This has nothing to do with any of the terms or the rights regarding the production. It's just about, it's like similar to a literary agency and how you're engaging them to really shop the product or your work for publication. Different, but similar concept.
Yeah, and depending on what it is, depending on what the project is, and we're talking about from the talent side, but that may not necessarily mean on-screen talent. You might be the writer of the creator of a concept that other people are going to appear in. Whatever you are as talent, it's still the same relationship, right? But there may be different parties who are better at shopping one type of project than the other.
Yep.
And, right now, and maybe this has always been true, it just seems maybe there's so many more now. But, if so many producers were line producers for somebody else, started as a PA, production assistant, then became a line producer, then became something else. Now they're ready to executive produce their own thing. And that may be the best relationship you can get because as somebody is talented and hungry. On the other hand, they may not have any idea really how to run their own business. And so they may have pulled a shopping agreement that they saw from something that doesn't fit your project. So, I know you say this all the time, and I do the same thing too. We'd love to share as much as we can with you on how to think about these things. But please don't sign something until you've had somebody look at it and tell you what it is that you're signing.
100%. You can
reach
sign
out
all your
to
rights.
Francesca. Let her tell you, what it is they're asking for.
Yes, and you for all the entertainment stuff. Like it's such a fast evolving space, so it's exciting. But definitely, Pete, you are the go-to on all things entertainment, film, creatives. It's so exciting, and thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me the other day, and also to join Legal Limelight. This has been great.
Of course, it's my pleasure. It really is.
So what's the best way that people can find you and connect with you?
The best way is to go to thescreenlawyer.com. And that will take you to my law firm bio page, and it's got links to all my social. I'm at The Screen Lawyer on, I keep trying to wade into TikTok. I might need to reach out for some guidance from some smarter, hipper people than I am.
I'll help you.
All right, it's a deal.
Definitely.
I spoke at a conference in San Diego in June, Social Media Day San Diego, and one of the women who got up before was talking about TikTok, and I was blown away. But I still sort of feel like I'm drinking from a fire hose on some of the stuff. So that's where I need to go next. But you can find me in a lot of places. Just check out thescreenlawyer.com. It's got all my contact info, tells you more about my past, and everything is there.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Pete. You're such a wonderful person, and you're so intelligent, but I really like the way that you speak in easy to understand ways. That was so helpful for everyone. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom today.
Well, I thank you for having me, Francesca. It's always a pleasure. The next time we need to talk about you teaching me about NFTs and centralized everything. I'm trying, I'm learning.
Well, that's like the beauty of this. Like, you don't need to be an expert in everything. You just need to know who the experts are and and have them in your network.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is coming. A lot of our clients are now saying, all right, I want to make an NFT out of this. And I'm comfortable talking about the IP issues and some of those structures, but then I know where my limits are.
Yes.
So I will,
You'll learn.
I will reach out.
Definitely. We'll connect, and you'll definitely learn. It's the same once you get the technology and you spend like literally 15 hours watching YouTube videos. It's the same. You'll pick it up quick.
Right. Got it.
Okay, Pete, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for tuning in. This is Legal Limelight. We're here every Thursday at 1 o'clock and at 1 o'clock Eastern time. And I wish you all an amazing rest of your week. Bye.
Thanks. Take care, everybody. See you.